Here we are at the Holy Triduum. And the phrase that really comes to mind for me when we talk about being consumed is that phrase that Jesus utters in the final moments of his breath on earth. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. And what if we woke each and every day and we rolled out of bed and we said those same words? Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. That is what being consumed and being one with Jesus Christ is really about. And over the next 3 days of the Holy Triduum, what we're going to experience is such a bittersweet journey. We just talked last week about the power of Palm Sunday and the riding in and the fanfare that occurred. Well, the Triduum starts off the same way. It's with a feast, the Feast of Passover, and celebrating in the upper room and simply having dinner, as the disciples in Christ probably did often. Except Christ does two very different things this night. Number one, he reminds us of our call to be a servant above all by the washing of the feet. And secondly, he institutes the Holy Eucharist. He says, "This is my body which will be given for you," and does the same manner with a cup and referencing his blood. And how confused the disciples must have been, because they hadn't journeyed the same way that we've had a chance to journey this Lent. They don't know what the final outcome must be, and so their confusion leads them into a different realm of faith. Not one like we see it, and not one that they could certainly understand. But how quickly that changes on Holy Thursday night when Judas, the betrayer, comes and kisses Jesus on the cheek. And there are so many scenes of this happening in all the ways that Judas betrays Jesus in film. And I always love that in most cases, that when Judas kisses Jesus on the cheek, Jesus looks at him with pity. And Judas turns away in shame, because they see it all coming to fruition. And the disciples, they begin to panic. And it all leads us in throughout this night of Jesus being taken into Good Friday. And Good Friday becomes the opportunity for us to lay everything that we have amassed at the foot of the cross. Every ounce of us that needs healing, every ounce of us that has some sort of brokenness, and every sin that we've felt guilt for, we can lay it at the foot of the cross. And so we might choose to go to a Stations of the Cross service. We might find ourselves wandering throughout a city or throughout our parish or whatever it might be, journeying to walk in the footsteps of Christ, to once again walk with him, to lay our hands on his feet, to touch his hands that were nailed to the cross, and to wipe his brow for the journey that was so hard, because it connects us to him. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. And then when we attend a service on Holy Friday night, it is merely a communion service. There is something that is so changed about the evening, so much sadness, almost a shock that because we've allowed ourselves to be wholly consumed during this Lent, that we are shocked by the events, no matter how many times we have heard them. And on Holy Saturday, we find ourselves empty. Holy Saturday is that one moment within our faith where we really know what it's like that if Christ stepped away from our side and we're fully immersed in the experience of the Triduum, there is such an emptiness upon us. You know, singer and songwriter George Michael once said when he was asked about the death of his mother, how he felt. And he said, you know, there are two types of people in this world, those who have lost and those who have not lost yet. And I think that if we really set up our Lenten journey to prepare us for these moments, we understand what real loss is in that moment. And so it's ultimately that we almost want to run to a vigil service on a Saturday night because we don't want that pain to continue. See, my friends and brothers and sisters in Christ, that is what being consumed is. Consume is taking on every whip that hit Jesus that day. Consume is finding forgiveness in the betrayer. Consumed is finding fulfillment in knowing that the story will have a glorious ending. Don't let anything come in your way from finding your pure connection, a pure connection with your faith that nothing can ever separate you from. You will find great things through this trials and through this journey over these next 3 days. But we know that we have a God who loves us and is victorious in the end. May God meet you everywhere that you desire him always, and may you be blessed to have your heart consumed by the love of Christ.
Consume your blood now, Lord Jesus.